Hello friends, it's me again, Cristina, and I'm here to share with you my recent experience with a Heather Ross fabric bag swap on Instagram that I did with Heather Ross fans community. So who is Heather Ross? She is an illustrator, sewist, and fabric designer that is really popular in the sewing world. I learned about Heather's fabric in 2020 when I started making masks. And then I started using her fabric because it was a good size for doll clothing. So I've made dresses and my favorite thing to make, which are overalls. I started doing a lot of fussy cuts and learning patchwork. And when I learned there was going to be a Heather Ross swap, I made sure that I joined. So, what's a swap? A swap is an exchange between people, and there's many different kinds of swaps. You've probably been someone's secret Santa. Sometimes there's local food exchanges where people swap different kinds of bread, produce, jams, or ferments, along with cookies or recipes. Your local library might host a book exchange, and there are many sewing swaps that exchange quilt blocks, mug rugs, and fabric. Here are some swap tips. When you find out about a swap you might want to participate in, you'll want to learn what the swap is all about. You'll want to know when the swap begins and when it ends, and who your host is for the swap. If your swap is online, you'll want to be familiar with your host's website or social media accounts and make sure to follow them or sign up for their email newsletter so that you don't miss out when it begins. Before you sign up, you'll want to make sure that you have all of your questions answered. So this is the time to read through everything and ask your swap host if you have any questions. Make sure you understand the time commitment and only sign up for the swap if you know that you can realistically complete what you're going to exchange on time. Like if you were going to be doing a bake exchange, you'll probably just make cookies one weekend and then the next day you would be delivering it to the exchange. But if you were going to do a month-long quilt along, you might want to make sure that you had weekends free and your evenings would be free so that you would be able to complete your sewing project on time. Swaps can sometimes be an affordable way to exchange items, especially if it's something that you already have, like a book. But sometimes there are expenses, like if you're going to be doing a sewing project and you might need to buy more fabric, thread, notions, and also a lot of times swaps come with extra gifts. And if you're going to be shipping something, then there would be the shipping expense as well. Make sure not to sign up for a swap if you don't think that you'd be able to cover the expenses. The last part is being willing to follow the guidelines. Your swap hosts have set up guidelines to make this an experience that's enjoyable for everyone, so make sure that you're willing to follow what they've set up. An example of this would be if you had an Instagram account. A lot of these swaps would like it if you made your account public and also use specific hashtags for the swap so that people can find others. So here's the swap that I did, a Heather Ross bag swap. The swap was on Instagram and it was hosted by Honeybee Homemaker and Sarah B. Quilts. The pattern was by Square Stories and is called the Cozy Cottage Tote. And basically it's a bag that looks like a house. We were to make the bag during the month of April with weekly check-ins and ship during the first week of May, and it was only with Heather Ross fabrics. These are the hashtags that we use, so if you want to look at some beautiful bags, check them out. So here's some of my Heather Ross fabric stash. Again, she makes very whimsical, colorful fabric inspired by nature and childhood. And this is probably one of my favorite ones. This is a Country and City Mouse from the Trixie line. This is probably the cutest little vignette in there. I actually have it as a art print, which is super cute, nice and framed. So now that we know what some Heather Ross fabric looks like, let's see what the first week of the swap was like. So after signing up for the swap, we were to fill out a Google form that had our information, and it was given to our swap pal. And basically, you want to be very honest about what you like and what you don't like, and if you have any allergies in case people want to send you food. It really helps your swap pal, and the more info you give, the better. We also got to make an inspiration mosaic that shared our favorite fabrics and creations. And you always want to make sure that you tag the original creator. It's a great time to start making some new friends who are in the swap so that you can follow them and learn more about things that they like. And it's a great way to keep from stalking your particular swap pal and just starting to follow them, because then they'll know. And really, we want to be able to keep this swap a secret so that your swap pal will be surprised in the end. Here's what we had to do for check-in 1. After learning about our partner's preferences, we needed to get all the fabric and supplies that we were going to need in order to make the bag. You'll see here that I have fabric for the bag and also the pattern and some stabilizer and also some snaps. And that's kind of some of the items that I needed for making this bag. Sometimes that means that you would need to order supplies and make sure that they came in so that you'd have them before the next check-in. The sewing and quilting community are some of the nicest people who mail you things, and they usually package them really cute too. Here's what I had to do for check-in 2 and check-in 3. This was the most busy time constructing both sides of the cottage and the roof. Here's a picture of my check-in number 2. We were to piece the roof together and then foundation paper piece the sides of the house. All of my doll sewing helped me make these ruffled valances for windows. In addition to sewing, we also needed to like and comment on other people's posts and be a part of the community. Here's a look at check-in number 3 and the other side of the cottage. So here's check-in number 3, the back panel and side panel, quilted, special door, please knock, snap, happy lucky rabbit, and this is a pocket, maybe for some sunglasses. Side, a pocket. This will get sewn down when I make the whole bag. But again, this is check-in number 3. All sides done with the hardware installed. Check-in number 4 was to have a complete Cozy Cottage bag made that would include all the sides, the hardware and the straps attached, and the interior sewn as well. And that would give you enough time to work on any extras like making the Happy Home little coin purse and also getting all of those things ready to ship. And here's a look at the Cozy Cottage that I made for my swap pal. I'm so happy with the way it turned out. Now it's time to start gathering the extras. Here's some ideas. You could send fabric, quilt labels, stickers, fussy cuts, extra thread, sewing notions like rulers and things that help with quilting, things that you've made like mini bags or pouches, snacks and tea. I would also send things that your swap pal mentioned in their intake form. Okay, so I am now getting ready to mail off this Cozy Cottage tote to my swap pal, and I wanted to show what I was going to include, and also just to keep a record of what I've done in the past. So again, here's the tote bag. It's made again with Heather Ross fabric. Here's a little door that you can open, and it has a little lucky rabbit inside. We were required to send the tote, and it was recommended to send some handmade items. And so Square Stories also had, with this pattern, this little coin purse, and it's called the Happy Little House. And so I've made that as well. And then the rest are just extras, and I was just really excited to be able to use some of the Heather Ross things that I've collected. And I had an extra notebook, and so this has the Trixie mice, Country Mouse and City Mouse. Super cute. It has graph paper inside. And this is the strap, and I put a little bow on here that is meant to go on a zipper pull for bags, and it's made by a creator called Sweet Cinnamon Roses, and she has a lot of really cute things, mostly pink and blush, and so I'm including that. I'm also including this really cute bow that can hang on your bag. It has the cutest little circle carabiner, and it has a perfect little slot for a lip balm. And this is EOS, which is a really awesome brand, and it's vanilla flavored. So there's that. I also made a strawberry button. This is Heather Ross by hand, a strawberry print. And my swap partner said that she wanted labels, and so I have a couple of these to send. These 3 here are made by Sarah Hartz, and I don't remember where this one is from. I'm also including a YKK red zipper, since she said she liked the color red. These right here are tea bags from Japan, from one of my favorite tea bag packaging. These are Carol Chapek, and they have the sweetest illustrations. They kind of reminds me a little bit of Heather Ross illustrations, lots of cute animals and cute children. And this particular tea tastes really good. This is milk caramel tea. And so I'm including that. A little piece of webbing that is the same as the webbing that's on the bag. And that could be really cute, like on the side of a bag. So sending her that little extra. And then this right here, along with all these little Heather Ross strawberry vinyl decals that are perfect for water bottles or even your bicycle. I was going to put those inside of this little bag, and this is called Shipcloth. Shipcloth is a type of waterproof Tyvek that Heather Ross has printed some of her designs on, and this is a bluebird. And you can use your regular sewing machine to sew it. It is a little bit like paper, but it is waterproof and kind of can get a little bit crinkly. And then I learned how to use snaps during this swap, and so this is a little cam snap, and you can just put some random things in here. And I've included a little circle carabiner on a ribbon, and it could go on a bag. Or it could carry, like, you know, a little snack or something. So that's what I'm going to put these stickers in. And you all know that I love Shibas, and so I had to include one of those. And the last thing that I have is just some 5-inch squares of, I guess, more out of print blue fabric. And then my swap pal's first name begins with a C, and so there's a little bit of the Kinder alphabet fabric. She could use that square as like a monogram onto something in the future. And then this little device can kind of help you with some tiny sewing. I like to use that tip to keep my finger from getting hit by the needle. This little end is 1/4 of an inch, and it kind of helps turn out corners. So it's a fun little tool, and she likes pink. So overall, this is what I'm sending out. I'm going to wrap a couple of the things in this Heather Ross wrapping paper that I got that came in this lovely tube with the happy little nanny bee. Look how cute that is. She's like knitting while watching this little bee. Oh, one other thing that I forgot to show is this card. And I printed this out using a file that's in Heather Ross's book. This one right here, called Heather Ross Prints. And I used this book to make bookmarks in the past, and I would like to print some of the fabric, especially the little swan and ugly duckling ones that are here in the back. And I also used it to create the label that's inside this bag. You can come take a look in the bag. You see this label right here. It says one of a kind, and she had this lilac unicorn print in there that was to make a rice paper lantern, and I basically used the file to make this label. I like to use Canva, and so I pulled the PDF file into there and kind of made it to the size that I wanted. And then again, there's my business label, Kawaii Morihama. So this is an awesome book. I highly recommend it if you are a Heather Ross fan. I think it's basically for personal use. I wouldn't start printing your own Heather Ross fabric to sell, but this is a great way to incorporate some of her older prints into things that you love, or maybe to send to a friend. So again, this card is the Princess and the Pea. But anyway, thank you for joining me on this journey to seeing what a Heather Ross swap might be like. It's the last week of the swap, and it's time to mail. Make sure you wrap everything nicely like a gift and make your label. I recommend Pirate Ship. It gives you discounts on regular USPS shipping, but if you're shipping internationally, make sure you get delivery confirmation as well. Notify the swap host, and then all you have to do is wait for yours to arrive. Soon after I mailed off my cozy cottage tote, I got one in the mail, and I got it from a new quilty friend, Beach Girl Maria. Isn't it beautiful? It's made with a lot of Heather Ross Far Far and Away fabric. Now I'm going to show you some close-ups. This is the Nanny Bee side that has a fun green fabric and little windows again with princesses, Owl and the Pussycat, and then a little Nanny Bee doorknob. Here are some of the princesses that are on the side. There's Rapunzel. Heather Ross's princesses don't look happy, which is kind of fun. So there's her. And then over here is the princess from Princess and the Pea, and she looks a little bit cranky because she hasn't got enough sleep. That all happens to us, so I can totally relate. But this is like the princess panel of the bag with happy moons looking down on everyone. And then up here on the roof, there's more moons, special little honey bears. There's the cutest little frog on this side panel. She knew that I liked frogs because I left it in my preferences. So cute that she was able to get one of the tags from Square Stories. So come on in, it's cozy inside. So before the end of the swap, my partner who sent me the bag had gone to Iceland, and she picked up some lovely things for me there on that big island. And I had put in my my little description about myself that I didn't eat any animal products, and she was super kind to get me these licorice that were gelatin free, so that was super nice. So no animal products in this licorice. It should be really tasty. And these are some tea bags that have wise woman herbs, lady's mantle, Melissa, Angelica, and red clover. So perfect for ladies in that late perimenopause, menopause age. So that's fun. And then there was this really pretty Northern Lights soap. I would love to be able to see the Aurora Borealis. That's such a lovely thing to send to someone from Iceland. I hope I get to see that sometime myself. So those are some of my gifts that came from Iceland. She also sent me some 4-inch squares. This is Far and Away fabric. I really love this Owl and Pussycat, and if you notice, like on their boat it says love conquers all. That's super cute. I used to have this and I made a lot of masks using this fabric. So there's that, and then this super sweet moon. I don't remember the name of this fabric. Maybe it's from Tiger Lily, not really sure. I think this is Briar Rose, again not sure. Nanny Bee, which is a favorite of a lot of people. You can see this cute little bee knitting with a little baby bee. Another Nanny Bee. And a different one with a honeycomb pattern. And this is again Far and Away Sleeping Beauty. So that was really sweet of her to send. And I really want to make a Heather Ross rainbow quilt, and maybe this will be the start of it using 4-inch squares. These are some fun silicone bobbin holders, and I didn't really know what these were. I had to look them up online using Google reverse image, and what they are is it's a bobbin holder that can go with the actual spool of thread. So you just put the little bobbin on the end, and then this goes in the spool, and this is supposed to keep your bobbin thread with the matching spool thread together. So that is a very ingenious little fun contraption. Usually I keep my bobbins in a bobbin ring with my sewing machine, but maybe for some of the ones that I don't use as often, I might store them this way. I just need to get more bobbins. But that was a really fun thing to learn about. She made this cute little quilted pouch, and it has lovely strawberry print inside that I love, and just this cute little donkeys. Don't they look like hand-drawn here on the bag? But anyway, the zipper is so cool too. I've never made anything like that, so that's really fun. And then inside were some cat themed things because she saw on my feed that I had a cat. I actually do have a little white kitty. So here's a zipper pull, and this is a pin that says, I work hard so my cat can have a better life. And what's this cat up to? That's so funny. She gave me this really cute print that says measure twice, cut once, that kind of has like vintage seam binding and a rickrack. So that is really fun. Love it. 2 extra wrist straps. And then this is the main shoulder strap with yellow hardware. Such happy flowers. I even got something from Maria after the swap was over. I got this surprise package in the mail. Maria sent me her stash of far, far and away fabric, and I was completely blown away because a lot of this is actually no longer in print. Some might be coming back, but a lot of these colors are no longer available. So it's just so awesome that she sent it to me. So, what did I learn from this swap? Well, I learned to keep learning new skills. This swap, I learned how to use a cam snaps. It's also great to be able to sew every day if it's possible. Then you'll know ahead of time what your skills are and if you're going to be able to complete things. Probably one of my favorite parts of this gift to be for the swap were these cute little tags. I'm not really a big bag maker. I've made a couple of them, but I never really added any tags to them. And I noticed that this was a really big thing that people liked and they were able to do, and I didn't even really know where to buy them from. And I noticed that Square Stories had these on their Etsy, but they were in the UK and I wasn't sure if they were going to come in time. And so the fact that Maria sent me this, it just feels like so special if I make another bag. And then some of these other ones that say, you can't buy this, good vibes, always, a little heart, thanks I made it, and this little strawberry. That was really a sweet thing to add to this package. And if you do a sewing swap, I highly recommend to send these because I think people really love them. So thanks again. More of what I learned. I realized that everybody likes a nice comment and appreciation really costs you nothing. And so I would encourage everyone to tell people thank you and be really grateful for the things that you've gotten, and also to show a little appreciation to other makers. I really love leaving people colorful and unique emojis. As someone who's an ambivert, I'm not always the most comfortable in every social situation, but when we're doing something that we like and with other people who like the same thing, it's really a great time to get to know others and see the diversity in the online sewing community. And ultimately, I would like to join another swap. So if you know one that you think that I might enjoy, leave a comment and I'll check it out. I had so much fun making this bag, and I wanted to tell Maria thank you so much again. I also wanted to send a special thank you to our hosts of the swap, Lexi and Sarah and Amanda, for all of their encouragement and keeping us on track to having the bag be completed on time. And to everyone who participated, and to the wonderful designer of this bag, Mims of Square Stories. It's such a lovely and fun pattern that you could use with your favorite fabrics, which just happened to be Heather Ross. So thanks again to Heather Ross for making this wonderful, whimsical, and cute fabric that everyone loves. And again, if you like this content, go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment, or subscribe, and stay tuned for more doll, craft, or sewing adventures with me. Thanks again and take care.